Welcome back to day 14 using the Homebrew Ohio 15-piece 1-gallon winemaking equipment kit that you see behind me. And we are on day 15 of making our Moscato wine. And so at this point, we're looking at stabilizing and degassing, and then we're going to come back tomorrow for clarifying. So taking the lid off of our primary fermenter, I have already taken the liberties to use our wine thief to move some of our wine into our test jar so that we can make sure that our gravity is correct, and lucky for us it is, which means that we've been fermenting and you really can smell it. It has a great aroma to it. It looks good. It's got like a little visual inspection I've done. So at this point, we're going to use our auto siphon and our tubing to do what we call racking, which is moving liquid from one vessel to another. We're going to rack it into our primary fermenter that I have had some cleaner and sanitizer in. So we'll move that. If it's a no rinse cleaner or sanitizer and you see bubbles, still don't rinse it. Those bubbles are expected and it'll be fine. So let's put our auto siphon together. And I just have these sitting right in sanitizer, waiting for me to use. And we'll put that anti-sediment tip on. Tubing. And then make sure that all of the tubing has cleaner or sanitizer or one step or whatever you're using removed, and we'll put that here. Now, in order to make this work really well, I am going to go ahead and move this below on that shelf. Because anytime you're racking, if you can make the vessel you're racking into lower than the vessel that you're racking from, you're going to have a lot more success. Okay, 2 pumps, we get that going. I am going to be careful not to disturb too much of the sediment at the bottom. Okay, we're done with our primary at this point. We won't use this again until we're bottling, so I'll make sure I get that cleaned up and ready for us for that process. Now, the directions say to add the contents of the sulfite sorbate package directly to the jug of wine. I'm going to go back in here to our sulfite sorbate package, and we will carefully add that right into our jug. All right, next it says, agitate the wine to degas. Do this by fitting a solid bung on top and shaking the jug, securely holding the bung and removing the bung to release pressure as it builds. Repeat until the pressure has dissipated. Now, if you don't have a solid bung, you can actually do this even with the back of the spoon. And what you're going to see is it's naturally degassing right now. You see all those little bubbles coming up from the bottom? By moving things around, we're releasing the CO2 that gets trapped in that wine. So the chemical reaction occurs when you've got our fermentables, which we put in there, and we put our yeast. The yeast eats the sugars, and 2 things occur. Alcohol is created, and CO2 is created. Now, the alcohol is exactly what we wanted here, but the CO2 is not what we want. We're not making beer, we're not carbonating. So we want to get that CO2 out of being trapped in this liquid so that we don't get any off flavors. So we can either put our bung on, even though it has a hole in it. I think we can handle that. We're going to move it around a little bit. I'm just going to put my finger over this hole. We'll see how this works. I'll let that continue to work on its own for a little bit, and then we'll do it a few more times until we feel like we're not seeing this level of CO2. I'm still seeing a little CO2 being released, but it is kind of doing it on its own at this point. So I'm going to go ahead with the next step here, which is to stir in a Kisa-sol. And if your kit contains 2, add 1 package now and the other will be added at a later stage. So let's see how many ours has. It looks like just 1 Kisa-sol. So we will stir that in. And so I'm just going to take the back of our spoon, give it a nice stir. Okay, and then it finally says to fit our airlock filled halfway with a solution to the neck of the jug and leave for 24 hours. So we're going to be able to put our rubber stopper in, fill our airlock to the max fill line, and reattach. And we're going to leave this alone for the next 24 hours and come back to day 15's clearing tomorrow.